All right, let's roll. What's up, everybody? You know what it is. Nooner Nation podcast for Nooners by Nooners, and we made it. Episode 100, y'all. Hold on, let's see if I get the right one the first time.
Oh, my lucky
Nope, not that one.
stars. Let me go. 69, dudes.
Not that one either. Nope, definitely not that one. Close enough. That's all I got. I obviously don't have the I don't have the rap horn anymore. I guess on my. I've only got four sound pads, and I went through them all, in probably the complete opposite order in which they should have been. I don't know why I have sad trombone, but not the rap horn. I need to change that. But yeah,
Oh my gosh.
episode 100. You know, we started this. I started this as a, I don't know, something to do. And 2 years later, we're here a little over 2 years later because we missed some weeks. But episode 100. We're not going to have anybody having sex live on camera like Drinking Bros. I mean, unless Jake or Charlie has somebody around and is in the mood. But I don't know how
she's mad at me right now.
don't know how YouTube's going to feel about that one. But yeah, dude, like first off, for everybody that's been listening since day one or has been listening since last week, thank you. You know, it's been a fun ride. We're going to try to keep it going for 200. Maybe we'll have a little something better planned for 200. I kept saying like, oh, I need to plan something for episode 100. And it just like, you know how it gets. We're fucking busy and
Time keeps slipping.
yeah. And you know what? Like
Keeps on coming.
it's a big deal now, but when we hit episode 1000, it won't be a big deal then. So whatever, we roll on. Jake, we're a little late because we're trying to figure out how Jake to not look like edited Japanese porn. I don't know why they do that.
Yeah, no.
Have you ever seen that? Like they blur out everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it takes away from some of it, but then sometimes the mystery's kind of hot too, you know? You're trying to look through the pixels to see if there's like a landing strip or anything.
Yeah, and I kind of got a little landing strip going on here on my face. I don't know if you doubt you guys can see it. You might have seen it on my Instagram story.
No, I mean, I can see you definitely have a beard and a mustache. And I'm thinking like a little soul patch.
Yeah, I got the little landing strip down
Yeah,
right underneath
little-
my lip.
Yeah, a little lower lip flavor saver.
Yeah, no, especially now that I'm through with dry January. I've been.
It is.
Real
I had that in my notes. It's your last night. Are you going to make it through one more night or have you already said fuck it? It's
Oh no, the 31st was my last date. It is February, my friend.
oh shit, it is. Sorry. I still thought it was the 31st. Just shows how fucking crazy my week's been. I've lost track of days. It was like 10 o'clock this morning before I even realized it was Thursday. You know, I was like, oh shit. I need to
I mean,
like,
I thought it was Thursday on Tuesday, so
but
there's that.
there's
I
that.
thought Monday was Friday.
Yeah. What's really bad is when you think Thursday is Friday. And then you realize like, oh,
Oh,
fuck,
those are
it's
the worst.
Thursday. Like that fucking kills you. Takes the wind right out of your sails. You know, unless you don't work on Fridays, and I guess Thursday is kind of like your Friday,
Your little Friday.
your little Friday.
Yeah, no, I don't have class on Fridays, so today is technically my Friday. So
Nice,
cheers to that.
nice. I've got my my annual review at my full-time job tomorrow, so we'll see how that goes.
Gross.
Ugh.
I know it's never fun. No, the weird thing is like my boss. You can also tell like he doesn't want to do it either. Like he's super laid back, but his boss is like a complete hard ass. So it's just like, all right, let's just get through this, and you know. So we'll see how that goes. And, you know, I might. Maybe tomorrow I'll find out like I've got a lot more time to do more podcasts. We'll find out.
Shit.
That's what happened in my last review.
So yeah, we'll see. lot of changes going on at the full-time job, so we'll see how that goes. I'm not worried about it because obviously they can't lose all this, you know. What was the other? I had one more note. Oh, tomorrow is Groundhog's Day.
Oh, fucking shit. Guess what I'm going to watch after the podcast?
Yeah, Punxsutawney Phil. You're gonna go watch Bill Murray try to murder a groundhog?
I fucking love that movie so much.
Oh yeah.
Have you guys ever done like a deep dive of like the traditions of Groundhog Day? It's like a weird fucking cult.
No, I haven't.
Like the actual day, because I know like the movie Groundhog's Day, there's like a ton of like online, I don't know if you call them conspiracy theory, what do you call it? Fan theories about it, and like people have like reviewed like some of the stuff he does throughout that and how long it would have taken, and he's like he relived the apparently like, oh yeah, he relived the same day for 5 years or something like that.
Yeah, I
Holy
didn't
shit.
realize it was a book before. I don't know if my dad read it or just knew that, but he was like, he told me it was a book and that he'd actually been there for years, which they don't really portray in the movie, but you can tell like he learns piano and he learns
Yeah.
all these things.
Like
so
he's there
it's
for like 5 years.
but they never state like exactly how long it was, but it kind of makes sense when you hear it's been that long and you're like, oh yeah, he didn't learn how to play
Yeah, he
the
learns to play piano.
classically.
He like learns everything about like that waitress's life to sleep with her.
Yes.
He
Like all
learned
that shit would take time and like knowing exactly when people are going to be where,
and he learns like
all the
all the
timing.
timing of the armored car to go rob it.
like killing himself all those many ways.
Well,
Though that whole montage is
a
beautiful.
week in, I'm just dumping the toaster in the bathtub. You know,
Oh my gosh, yes. He does do that. I just love
know,
when
but
he
I was
told
talking
the
about, like-
groundhog, don't drive angry.
Punxsutawney Phil must die. Ned Ryerson getting punched in the face.
Yeah.
No, but like the actual groundhog, they have like their own little nicknames for like each person that goes up on stage with the fucking groundhog, and it's like passed on to the next person. It's fucking weird.
I was actually Ruben in the chat said Punxsutawney Phil is a national treasure. I'm pretty sure he's got to be somewhere close to where they do that. I want to say it's like within a drive, like a short drive of Pittsburgh. So like it's. I wonder, Ruben, if you're still
Punxsutawney,
watching,
Philadelphia, wherever the fuck that is.
if you're watching, have you ever gone to see Punxsutawney Phil come out of his groundhog hole? I mean, I will say, he's got like probably the best life any groundhog could ever have.
Yeah, no, they have like a little fucking like enclosure for him that's like 100 feet away from where they do the little ceremonies.
Yeah. They'll probably have him, yeah, he says 45 minutes away from where he's at. So, yeah, and I think,
God
like,
damn.
don't they typically have him, like, predict the Super Bowl now, too? Like, kind of like the
Really?
octopus. Yeah, because now that there's more weeks on the NFL, Groundhog's Day is, like, typically right before the Super Bowl. So now they have him, like, predict the Super Bowl as well.
That's okay.
Like some small furry fat Nostradamus.
Right. Right.
I mean, he's related to Andy Reid, so he's gonna side with him.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, Andy Reid does look a bit groundhogish.
Kristen just said some douche dropped him last. Somebody dropped him last year.
Just fucking yeeting the hedgehog. I mean, not the
Fucking
hedgehog,
hell.
the groundhog.
I can definitely see like
Like
a
how do you
co-
fumble a fucking groundhog?
I mean, I could
man?
totally see like
You
some.
fumble it like Zay Flowers.
Yeah, there you go. I can definitely see like definitely during a COVID year, you know, like some just pissed off Yinzer up there, just like what 6 more weeks of winter and just punting the goddamn thing,
Just get fucking-
punting that fat fucking sack of.
That would be different.
Like, have you ever seen how groundhogs move?
They're like
well,
lumps of fat that
Like
just
you,
shimmy
like you
around.
don't even see their legs move. You just see the fat on their body wobbling around in waves as they move forward. It's like a
I
massive.
wish Punxsutawney Phil was the groundhog from fucking Caddyshack.
Mm, that was a gopher.
Oh fuck, never mind.
Remember, it's like we need to shoot the Irish greenskeeper's like, we need to shoot the gophers. It's like, not to correct you, but if I go around here shooting up golfers, they're gonna lock me up and throw away the key. It's like, not golfers, gophers. Caddyshack, good movie. I haven't seen that one in a while. Followed by the
Yeah.
not quite as brilliant Caddyshack 2.
You know, the
Oh, we
sequels
didn't
just never
realize it
shine
was
as bright.
sequel. You know
Well,
what is
Empire
a
Strikes
really-
Back.
Oh, yeah. But what is a good underrated sequel? Boondock Saints 2, All Saints Day.
Oh, see, I only
They
made
did
it
a
like
second one?
I only made like 15 minutes through that and was just like, nah, I'm not feeling this one.
Dude, it's so fucking good. I fucking love that movie. I just watched it last night. I love it.
Oh yeah, well, maybe I'll go back and rewatch it. But
It is good because, like, you know, in some sequels, they always use something from the first
mhm.
that made it so good. And they did that in this one, but they did it subtly to the point where it's like it's not completely on the nose or the exact same. Like the brothers fighting each other and bickering. Like
Right.
they include things like that just like very seamlessly. That would be like, yeah, of course they would fight and stuff like that. Like, I love it. And honestly, Billy Connolly with like the thicker beard that's wider. Like, dude, I don't know if I have a Santa thing going on or what, but like him
That's
in that
that's the
leather,
dad,
like,
right?
mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, you got like a
Son of
Santa,
a
you got like a
bitch, dude.
Santa daddy thing going on.
Ryan was like, I'm not gonna think very deeply into this, but I'm into it, Billy. Like, you're the one that I would choose out of all the men in this movie.
Yeah, because who's the who plays the main character? You have the dude who plays Daryl,
I think I called him Daryl Dixon.
Norman Remus, Remus.
Yeah, Norman Reedus. I called him Daryl
Reedus.
Dixon.
What the
I thought
fuck?
that wasn't his name. Yeah, Norman Reedus and then Sean Patrick Flannery.
Okay. Yeah, I'll have to go back and
then you-
rewatch that one.
I can't remember the guy's real name, but the guy who plays Romeo, he's definitely my fucking favorite character.
Oh yeah.
Because years ago, that was actually I watched the second one before the first one, and the episode or the scene where he goes, "Ding dong, motherfucker, ding dong." I made that into a fucking Facebook post back in 2011, and
Oh,
like
wow.
I still get reminded this day, and I'm like, "Fuck yeah!"
Oh, do you ever like speaking of that? We'll get back to Boondock Saints in a second, but do you ever get like those Facebook reminders from like 10 years ago? Back when like status updates were a huge thing.
So I'm
You're-
just like so cringy.
It's like, oh,
God.
God.
Delete
I mean,
that.
for me, it's like the Snapchat memories from high school,
Yeah,
where we were
Snapchat wasn't
drinking
a
like
thing.
half-filled juice bottles with fucking vodka or tequila or something like that. And oh,
Yeah,
Oh,
no.
God.
So to age myself, my senior year of high school, I got on Facebook because a girl I knew that was going to a college made me an email through that college because you could not get on Facebook unless you had a college email.
Oh yes, I do remember hearing about that. That was when we were all on MySpace. still.
MySpace, and I'm still. Let's bring back original MySpace. Like, bring us back. Who is Tom? Is that Tom?
Yes.
Bring us back, Tom. We were young and foolish. Come back with MySpace. Top 8, music in the background, teaching kids how to do like basic coding in the background.
People say that you just copied and pasted it. Like that wasn't unless coding is just copying and pasting.
But you still had to like go and put in what you wanted in between the scripts,
Oh no, I never had to do anything like that. I just like literally went to a place.
Oh
and it had
yeah,
exactly
see
what I
again
wanted.
to age myself, like MySpace, like you can go online and find like the template you needed, like the programming template. But it's like, oh, here you need to insert like the URL you want for this picture, and you go do this. I miss the original MySpace. Simpler times. I
I
tried
did
I
love
wasn't
having
old enough.
the songs.
the
The
music.
songs were fucking everything.
Oh yeah, and mine would always flip flop back and forth between like probably at that point in time like Lil Wayne, like the Carter 2, or
Shit.
like whatever mildly emo music is probably like Vindicated by Dashboard Confessionals, because like
Oh,
some girl
MySpace
I
created
like
emo.
started dating somebody, so I was like,
We definitely had at least one Hinder song at some point too.
oh, Lips of an Angel.
Lips of an Angel,
Yeah.
baby.
Lips of an Angel was definitely on there. That was my ringtone after
I
my
like Stoned.
I was gonna say, wasn't Hinder Homecoming Queen too?
I don't know. I just know they had Lips of an Angel, which I think was like their first big one.
I think Stoned was kind of, but then Lips of an Angel fucking skyrocketed.
So I think that I'm pretty sure that was my ringtone on my red Motorola Razor because like my
Oh, you had
girlfriend
the
broke up with
AIDS
me.
razor?
I had the age razor.
That's a deep cut.
And let me
I
tell
had
you,
the silver one.
the razor was hit or miss. It was either like no matter like half of them were total pieces of shit, but then the other half of them would never die. And my red AIDS razor, I literally got so pissed one night that I threw it into the wall and it went through the drywall. And I was like, well, that's broke.
Like a razor.
And then it started ringing. And I just reached my hand through the hole in the drywall and picked it up. And the phone still worked perfectly.
Shit.
I had a silver one that was a fucking tank. Like a legitimate fucking tank. And it lasted me like 4 years from like 5th grade till I got my first smartphone in 8th grade.
5th grade.
5th grade. God damn.
I got my first phone in 3rd grade, all right?
Goodness.
I think I've
Yeah.
told this
I was
before.
born in 98, so
I got my first phone in 10th grade, and it was a Sony Ericsson, and it was the first camera phone. But that did not mean the camera was integrated. The camera was a whole nother piece, and you plugged it into the bottom,
holy shit.
and you could take pictures with it, and it was so grainy and terrible. But then so the camera had a little pouch with a lanyard that I would clip to my belt loop. And then like this, so this would have been 10th grade, so high school. I was at a high school football game and thought I was like so dope being all fucking Malibu's Most Wanted. I had a visor flipped upside down with my phone clipped to the bottom of the bill.
I can fucking
Holy
see
shit.
you now. At the
Puka
fucking football
shelled like a
stadium.
motherfucker. Frosted tips.
All right, Malibu Most Wanted, calm down.
Tan as fuck. Tan as fuck with the Playboy Bunny sticker tan line right above my dick because I thought that would turn people on.
Please tell me you had your
And
grill
not
in
a
at this point
motherfucking
too.
eyelash off, damn it. Holy shit.
It did work. It did work though. Because
Oh my gosh.
like
Oh, that's
when I
fucking
had
great.
that, I was driving these two girls to the mall. And they thought they're like, you're really tan. Like, is your stomach that tan? I showed them my stomach. They're like, oh, you have a really cute stomach. This would have been 11th grade by then. So, but I was still tanning, but I still did that dumb shit. And then they saw like the tan line, like, what that is? Like, I just like, so like pulled like the pant down a little bit. And they saw that. And the next thing you know, like they're licking my stomach. And then it turns into like wild escapades as I'm doing 80 miles an hour down the interstate in my Camaro. So it
Had to
worked.
add in the Camaro.
It worked. Oh yeah, I definitely had.
I wanted to be a teenager.
I know.
I had a fucking Camry that I would just fucking fly with. And that thing was fucking beautiful.
I
Matt-
was one of those Nissan Altima people.
Altima. Around here in the Midwest, every single teenager drives a Pontiac Grand Prix. They're everywhere. They're fucking everywhere.
Anymore.
Your damn eyelash is all over
I
the place.
know. It's trying. It's hanging on by a thread.
Just flick it away. Let Freddie get it. You should put fake eyelashes on Freddie sometime. Yes, Alex, I was a real B-Rad G.
Bill was a real poonhound back
Did
in the
you
day.
have the
Validate
sound
parking?
system in the Camaro too?
Do what?
Did you have the sound system in the Camaro too?
I actually saved up and bought this like custom made sub box for the back of my Camaro. It was a 98, so it had the hatchback, like, you know, the 98 was an SS. And I had 3 12s in the back. And I cranked it all the way up with the windows all closed. And it actually blew the back window out.
Holy shit.
Holy fuck, dude.
And that was, my parents were not excited for the insurance claim on that one. So
I bet they love that.
the subs got taken out real quick and sold. I had to sell them to pay the $500 or whatever deductible to have my back window replaced. So I think I sold like $1,200 worth of subwoofers to pay for this fucking back window in my car. And then after that, I was like, no more subwoofers. Not to mention, by that point, it kind of got to like, I started realizing like having a bunch of bass like is just showing off because you can't actually hear the music anymore because everything just rattles.
Wonk. You hear
Yeah.
I remember this guy, his car would rattle. It was so fucking
It's about to
loud.
rattle apart.
That's exactly what it sounded like.
Somebody said, "Oh, Kristen, no, I didn't have the neon lights under the car, but I sold
Were they
that.
in the car?
I sold that Camaro and bought another one that was a year newer because I wanted a white one because at the time the North Carolina Highway Patrol had a shit ton of white SS Camaros, so I bought that." And in my 18-year-old genius mind, thought it'd be a great idea to put blue strobe lights in all the headlights and tail lights, and even had I had a CB in it. I had the CB antennas. I had blue strobe lights that turned on when you flipped down the visors.
Holy shit.
So that turned into me showing those off in the school parking lot, and almost like getting arrested for impersonating a police officer.
Oh, I bet.
So, which oddly enough, that same car is, I think this was my senior year of high school, junior or senior year. Me and my friends all joined a bowling league because we thought it'd be funny. And it turns out like when we started the league, none of us bowled. So our handicap was like so high that we ended up winning like our tier for the bowling league. So we were all excited. I'm pretty sure we were probably stoned or drunk. We leave the bowling alley and all just tear out and start drag racing down the street out of the bowling alley, which is a really dumb thing to do because the bowling alley was literally right next door to the highway patrol office. So I had a radar detector because everybody did back then. And it starts lighting up. I'm in my biggest, like my claim to fucking fame in high school was if I was drag racing you, I would go into the turning lane, like the center lane to pass you. So I was in the turning lane on like a 5-lane highway doing like 95 miles an hour. My radar detector lights up. I must have been doing faster than 95 because that's what they clocked me at. I'd hit the brakes before they ever clocked me. But so I lock the brakes up. And then, yeah, here's a state trooper coming around the curve from where we were at. Blue lights, whips around me. My 2 friends, the other 2 guys that I was racing, they hit the gas. Like, they just keep going. They're like, fuck this. We're going to keep going. The cop, I'm like, well, I'm fucked. So I kind of like start to pull over. And he like just kind of rolls down his window and he's like, pull over and stay here, and takes off after my other two friends. So I'm like, nope,
here.
not doing that shit. So I turn into like a neighborhood, like a quarter mile up the road, and just like sit. There was a house for sale that had like one of those driveways that like you kind of go through a little carport, but then the actual parking's like back behind the house.
Oh yeah.
So I sat there for like an hour. And I was like, okay, like they have to be long gone by now. I'm just going to like slow roll it home, hope that I didn't get my tag. So I'm like driving, like speed, like cruise control on the speed limit. And I come over this hill and there's a gas station, and it is just a cloud of blue lights in this gas station. And there was 14 state trooper cars when my other two friends pulled over in this gas station. So I'm like,
Oh, fuck.
okay, like keep it cool, be casual. And I remember I even looked, like I looked out the, like kind of looked out and like made eye contact with my friend. I was like, don't say anything, you know? And then I see this guy point at my car, like a state trooper point at my car.
Oh.
So my 17-year-old, you know, brain thinks, fuck it, I'm in an SS Camaro. They'll never catch me. It's like they're all parked. Like I can get out of here. So I just shift down, hammer it. I'm like, and I see like a couple guys like running into their Crown Vics. And I was like, I'll be long gone by the time they get those Crown Vics out of the parking lot. And I can, as clear as day, as long as it's been, as bad as my memory is, I can still see it in my head. The second I think like, oh, those Crown Vics ain't shit, a Corvette,
They're on you.
a black Corvette that's all lit up from the inside comes just drifting across like 4 lanes of traffic, like tires smoking, and comes after me. And I'm like, did not know they had that. So he finally, like, he comes flying past me and gets in front of me and locks his brakes up. And I have to lock my brakes up. And then by that time, there's 2 Crown Vics on either side of me. And stop me. And they're like, turn around. Like a cop like jumps out of his Corvette with his gun drawn. He's like, turn around and go back to the gas station now. And if you try to run, we're going to shoot your tires out. So I was like, that's when like 17-year-old Bill, like a teenager kid, was like, okay, all right. Like, I realized I wasn't invincible. So I like drive back to the parking lot, to this gas station parking lot. And I can still see his face. This like fucking 300-pound fat ass state trooper, like comes like arrogantly strolling up to my window. And he's like, you skinny piece of shit. If I didn't have this badge on, I'd jerk you out of this car right now and beat you to death. So then Invincible Bill kicks back in. And I was like, oh yeah? Take your badge off and do it, fat ass.
And now they wonder why they have body cams.
So then I was literally drug out of the car and handcuffed. Handcuffed, didn't get arrested. They still let me drive home after like an hour of them lecturing me about what I did.
Holy shit! They just lectured
No, well,
you?
they made me call my parents, and they talked to them, right? So, but then they let me drive home. To which point, like my parents just fucking gave me the end of the world speech for like letting me own a fucking fast car. But then,
To be fair, do they really think more of you?
no,
Like teenage teenage.
no, my
boys
parents knew
with that
exactly
much
what I
power?
was like.
Come on now.
Fast cars and loose women. They knew, like, they've known what I've been into for years. Like, my mom has not liked any of my girlfriends. I think the only reason she likes my wife is because we're married now, you know? But, yeah, I ended up getting off because I told my lawyer, who was even scarier than the police. Like my mom's best friend at the time, her husband was a defense lawyer. And who's also named Bill, but he played like linebacker for NC State or some shit. This is massive Southern dude, and so she's like, "Oh, you got to go see, I won't say his last name, but it's like, I have an appointment with you, with Bill, about this ticket. Because my ticket ended up being 94 and a 50, resisting arrest, willful speed competition, reckless driving, willful endangerment of the public, and willful endangerment of self-well-being. So he's reading this whole thing off to me in this like real, like exactly what you would think of like a big ass Southern lawyer. He's like, willful speed competition, evading arrest. And he takes it, like puts it down on his desk, folds his hands like kind of on his desk, and he just looks at me. He's like, Bill, why couldn't you just got a fucking DUI? I was like, sorry that I have some morals. I don't know.
It's like it'd be easier to defend you if you were drunk driving and killed someone.
Which, by the way, drunk driving, at least at that time in the town I was in, if you got a DUI, your life was fucked. So when he said this to me, I was like, oh my God, like, am I going to jail? Like, oh shit. So he's like, tell me what happened. And I told him the truth. He's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. What did that police officer say to you? And I told him, he's like, which direction was his car facing? And I was like, towards my car. I guess, like, so when my court day came up, like he comes, like, he's there. He talks to like the DA or whoever does the shit. I don't know. And is talking to him, and he comes and gets me and takes me like into like a private room. He's like, here's what I got for you. You can either sue that police officer for communicative threats against a minor, and I can probably get you like $10,000, or we don't sue them and it gets dropped. The whole thing gets dropped to a 4 over speeding ticket and you keep your license. So I was like, yeah, let's do that. So
Shit, dude, that's
4 over speeding ticket.
I had to go do like an 8-hour defensive driving school thing, which even that was comical because all these people in there is like, oh, why are you here? It's like, why are you here and what could you have done differently? And there's people like, it's like, oh yeah, I was doing like 115 down the interstate. Like, what could you have done different? It's like, slow down, I guess. But like, that cop was an asshole. Like, even I was just kind of like, dude, you're doing 115. Like, I knew what I did was fucking insane, and I owned up to it. Like, I was like, yeah, it's fucking crazy. There's so many people, like adults, like full grown, like adults in this class with me at 17. And I'm just like, yeah, dude, what are you bitching about? Like, they all tried to make it out to they're the victims. Like, you're doing 30 over. How are you the victim in this? Like, shut up and just own it. Like,
You had drugs on you, you're doing 30 over, and you were drunk.
You're in this class all day either way. Like, stop trying to rationalize it out to where the police are out to get you. You're doing 30 over. Like, what are you going to
it's
do?
like you asked for this. You know it's wrong. Like, you know it could happen, and then it happened, and you're pissed off. Like,
Yeah.
get better, emotional, intelligent, bitch.
How is it that, like, you're 35 and a 17-year-old kid has more self-awareness than you do?
And that's how you know not everybody grows up.
No, not at all. Because I was in that class with a dude that I knew who was like 25 at the time. And I knew him. Well, for one, I knew his younger sister, but he had the exact same Camaro that I did. So I kind of knew him around town for that. He's like, oh yeah, like when we went on our lunch break, he's like, oh, I'll drive. And he literally just does donuts around the parking lot before we leave to go get lunch. And I'm like, bro, what are you doing here?
He's that guy?
Yeah. He was a little slow. He was,
Well, he wasn't slow in his car, but he was slow.
his thought processing was a little slow. So, but yeah, I don't know if I've ever told, I think I've told that story so many times in my life. I had to tell
I don't
that.
think I've ever heard that one. That was pretty good.
I applied to be a police officer years ago, and I had to do a polygraph test, and I told that story. And even the detective was just like, what the hell? Like, she's like, I don't know
He's just
how.
looking at a steady line, like, oh my god.
Well, that's not how it works. So the polygraph test, by the way, worst experience of my entire life.
Really?
Really?
Oh yeah, I came out of that feeling like the most terrible human on the planet because they send you, but the week before, they send you this like 12-page questionnaire, right? And you're supposed to fill it out truthfully. And I didn't know like I was like, are we going through each one of these questions on the polygraph, like individually? Like what's going on? So I filled it out like as honestly as I could. And it's like, I haven't done anything that I'm terribly remorseful for, but like when you're cataloging the shit you've done wrong in your life on paper, like it doesn't make you feel
Oh, it makes you feel horrible.
like the greatest person ever. So then I'm in this room with the detective doing my polygraph. And it's like a female detective, which doesn't help either. And it's just like you're going through like these questions. So what you do, you go through all like your entire questionnaire, and then you just answer questions based on like 4 metrics. Like there's like drug use, physical abuse, sexual abuse, and well, I can't even remember the other one. And it's just like, have you held anything back on this one? Like, are you being truthful for this? So like, they don't ask you specific questions. It's just like, based on what we've talked about, have you lied about anything on that? And like, I literally essentially told this detective like everything I've ever done in my life. And some of it's fairly embarrassing, and uncomfortable to talk about with people. So I go through, but I'm like, okay, but I should be fine. Like I answered everything truthfully. So then she's like, we go through it. She's like, okay, is there anything else you want to tell me? I was like, no. She's like, well, it said like you failed on like this section and this section. And I was like, okay, like maybe I'm nervous. She's like, don't be nervous, but maybe like change how you answer things. And I was like, you told me before this, like, don't try to outthink the machine. Like, so then like I was in there for like 3 hours hooked up to this fucking machine after telling this lady crazy shit, I left there. So I ended up failing it. And it's just like, she's like, do you want to try again? I was like, no, like, I don't know what else to do. Like I've been completely truthful in this. Like there's things that I've told you that like, there's now 2 people in the world know, me and you. Like I don't know how to be any more truthful. And so yeah, I left that thing feeling like the biggest piece of shit on the planet. Because not only did I fail it, and it's the very last thing you do. I spent like a year going through like the admission program for like Des Moines PD, and that was the very last thing you do to go in. I was like, fuck, I feel like shit. But onward. We did some questions. What was it? Oh, so things that annoy you more than they actually should. We got a solid amount of ones on this, so let's dive into those.
Ooh, I'm excited. I love the responses we get. There's always some really fucking good ones.
I'm excited.
Bill looks distraught by the first one already.
No, this must have been a leftover from the last one.
Oh.
But it's super long. It's super long and not worded well, so. Yeah, okay. So, first one. People. I feel you.
Yeah.
I'm actually very
mean,
conflicted
yeah.
about that because when it comes to individuals, like I really enjoy talking to people, like and getting to know, like meeting people at a bar and just like talking and having conversations. But
Yeah, like the Drinking Bros meetups were really fun.
people as a whole, yeah, annoy the shit out of me.
But like driving down the road, like, yeah, I think of the bomb and hope it hits.
Yeah. This next one, I don't really have a lot of experience in for a very long time, but I can see, I've talked to you guys about this before, and I can see it.
Ooh.
Dating.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know, like, should you be more annoyed than you should with dating? I guess it depends on what you're looking for. Like, if you're actually trying to look for, like, a long-time partner, I can see it being super annoying. But if you're just looking to hook up and you go out on a date with an annoying person, you can be annoyed, but you should also know, like, you shouldn't be any annoyed than you should, like, you should anticipate being annoyed by this person, right?
I mean, it's one of those things. You expect to hit a foul ball, and if you hit a home run, it just makes it that much sweeter.
Well put, my man. Well put. Touche.
Yeah, no,
That
I've been
one's
thinking
good.
about this a lot lately because, like,
I was actually about to say,
don't-
like, that's a comment
Yeah.
that comes from somebody who is starting to figure out dating in their late 20s, right? Like, you've actually put some thought.
exactly.
You
like,
put some thought into, like, how dating should go as opposed to how
yeah, no,
you
like,
want
I've
it
been
to go.
ghosting everything, and it's because I finally got myself into something, and I'm learning.
Nice. Good for you, dude. Women. I mean, that's
I feel like
vague.
that's going to be a pretty common answer on this one.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure it's, I mean, okay. That's a little vague, though, because somebody can just say men. I'm sure we're annoying as shit, too, sometimes.
Right. That's the thing.
I
it's
mean,
just
women
kinda
hate
like-
other women, though.
It is true. A woman could have said this because women do hate other women.
So do
I think
men.
women hate other women more than misogynistic men hate women.
Maybe,
don't
but
know.
men
You ever heard
don't
guys talk about each other.
men don't hate, at least in my experience, and I can only talk from that. Men don't hate other men in the same veracity that women hate other women.
Oh,
I
no,
don't know, man. My first job was at a trucking company. I'm gonna have to. That shit was pretty fucking crazy. I was in high school at that job, and I was like, these
Okay.
motherfuckers are worse than the
Hot
girls
take.
I go to school with.
Hot take about that one, though. It's because it's a bunch of gorillas who have to compensate for something.
Okay, here it
They
is.
weren't gorillas. They were just regular fucking small town truckers, but they were all very different personalities, and they all fucking talked mad shit about each other because they would come into the or the lady that fucking ran everything. Like, she wasn't just an assistant. Like, she fucking ran that place. She was way more than that. They would come into her office, and that's where I was at. And they would all bitch about each other, and it was just fucking hilarious. Okay, for reference, this was one of the stories. Two of the guys had to ride with each other. One was a fat hunk of shit, and the other one was like he ran marathons. He was very in shape.
Okay, I can see why that's annoying, though, for the skinny guy and for the fat guy.
So yes, so he comes in, the skinny guy, and he's like, "This motherfucker comes out with a two-handed hot dog."
Just double dicked up
Just-
with a hot dog.
And we fucking died laughing. It's just him just like describing this fucking hot dog this dude is eating because he like fucking hated him so much. And he's like, him and his fucking massive hot dog. Like, that's like how petty it got. And I was like I said, I was in high school and I was like, damn, these guys are just as bad. Like, and then I also worked in a hospital, and some of the guys were real fucking petty and real snitches, and then just they would spread rumors and all kinds of shit. Like, they were just as bad. So I think it depends on like what type of
Yeah.
job
So-
site or whatever, because that's what I'm referencing. Like, they exist. They definitely are out there.
So, of no surprise, the very next answer, men.
Men.
Ah! I feel like that was probably the
Same person.
same person.
Hate them both.
It could even be a succession of the three. Like, I hate people, I hate women, I hate men.
Yeah.
But
When-
that goes back to people. So
Yeah, you hate people.
we've just gotten the same answer so
Yeah.
far.
When it takes more than 30 seconds for someone to text me back.
Oh,
30 seconds.
I
That's
feel
petty.
I feel like a lady did this one because that drives them up the walls.
No, because you know what? I texted this one. There's this one that I was with for a little bit. I would text her back right away, and I would still have to wait 10, 12 hours to get a response sometimes.
I mean, I can see this in certain situations, like with my screen printing stuff. Like somebody, like a customer, will text me, be like, "Oh, hey, like a question, like, can you do this, this, and this?" And I'll immediately text back, and then it takes like an hour and a half for them to respond. And I'm like, "Bro, why'd you bring it up if you're not ready to talk about this?" Like, and they bring it up.
I
They
hate
bring it
that
up in a
shit.
way
It's
like
like
we
a-
need to get this resolved now, you know. And it's like an hour and a half later. It's like, I get like if you're in a meeting or something, wait till after your meeting. Don't like text me this and get me all spun up trying to figure out a
Hey,
solution.
Logan's in the chat. What's up, man?
Logan, we didn't even bring that. I'll bring it up at the end of the podcast. I forgot about that. It's in my notes, but we kind of got rolling. But yeah, like I feel like that's more of like a lady trait, or is like question. Maybe not 30 seconds, but like 2 minutes. Question mark.
I say
Question
about
mark.
5 to 10 minutes.
Question
After that,
mark.
it's like, okay.
I've just learned to be way more patient than that. Like I'm not gonna. But then, like if I want information out of someone, like that, I will call you. And I've had friends that are like, "Why do you call?" And I'm like, "Dude, because I'm not gonna fuck around with your bullshit. If you waiting, like I have questions, I need them answered fucking now and not on your.
Oh, no.
fucking
See,
time.
that's-
Like,
I'm
we
the
can
opposite
end
of
this
that.
real fucking quick instead of stretching out like 2 hours.
The best time to call me is to text me. Like anybody, like
Yeah, that-
even my wife calls me. I'm like, God damn it, why can't you just text me? Like,
And that's such a stupid fucking thing because we all grew up like, why weren't they like excited about getting phone calls? And then nowadays people are like, man, it's just like, go fuck yourself. Like that was like just because you prefer a worst form of communication, like
maybe
shove it up your ass.
to me, if like somebody,
No offense, Bill, but shove it up your ass.
if somebody calls me just for like small talk, like I'll indulge, like I'll indulge that, but I'll hang up the phone. Like, Christ, indulgent, Jesus, you know, like,
No, sometimes I'll get like high and call my mom. And
like
just
I don't
fucking
have
bug her.
anything to do but talk to you on the phone. Like, good God, maybe I'm the problem there. I don't know.
Yeah.
Finding a
I don't know, because I do that shit just to bug people sometimes. It's kind of funny.
Trying to find a good song to play while you're driving. I can kind of see that. Like especially
I do hate it when you can't find like
especially
when
like
you're,
if you're trying to do like radio.
if you have Sirius XM and you have like all the music.
Oh my
and
God. Yes.
nothing's
Yes.
on that you
Now
wanna
I
listen
get
to.
it. I've got Sirius XM because like there's like, oh, $5 for 5 years or some shit, you know, because they're desperate. And I'm like,
Yeah.
all of these channels aren't playing shit. Like
Yeah,
they
I
all
fucking
suck.
hate that.
Oh yeah. Then I'm just like, fuck it. I'll risk crashing to Bluetooth my phone in and play something else from my phone.
That's why I got rid of Sirius. I was like, I'm not gonna fuck with this anymore. I'll just stream from my phone because my phone's gonna learn enough of what I like to listen to that it's gonna play something
See, they've got me.
sooner rather than later. That
They
I'll
they
listen to.
figured me out after like 6 years of me getting it for the month of December, just so if my wife's in my car, I can have Christmas music on, and then canceling it. Then now they still like November 1st, they will send me a thing. It's like $12 for the whole year. And I'm like, well, that's like $1 a month. Yeah, sure, why not? And I get
Yep.
it. And then I'm like, I never listened to it. I'm gonna cancel it. And they send the next one, the next November. I'm like, oh, fine.
Bill has hacked SiriusXM, so they just send him
Yeah.
discounted shit.
I have found a new channel. It's like a classic rock one. I can't remember what it is, like 35 maybe. It's not bad. Because they play
They
like
have-
the one thing that does bother me though, that's supposed to be like a classic rock one. And they do play some slow jams. Like I heard a Peter Gabriel song on there today that I never heard of. And it's not actually, I wouldn't call it rock. It's kind of a slow jams in your eyes. But I like the beat. It was good. But then they'll play like early like Blink 182 or Green Day.
I mean, that's classics now, Bill. You need to understand that.
I know, we're like, you motherfuckers. This is not classic rock.
Right. That's supposed to be on Faction, damn it.
Yeah. Fuckers.
Alternative.
People walking side by side and obliviously slow in walking paths. That shit drives me insane.
Oh, I make a point to like obnoxiously go around people who do that.
Oh, it drives me nuts. Drives me absolutely fucking nuts.
Like I'm the dickhead that will like scoff at people and walk around them.
Or like in the grocery store when somebody's like slowly strolling through the center of an aisle. And it's like,
Oh my
I
God,
know what
I
I
was
need.
at
And it's at the end
Costco.
of this, it's at the end of this aisle. I'm trying to get in and out. And bitch, you are in the middle of this and I can't get around you without looking like an asshole. So either you move up or I'm just going to look like an asshole. Like, good God.
You know, there's this.
Do you not know
fucking
there's a
lady at
dude
Costco.
right behind you? Drives me insane. Fucking sane.
Or when the people like park their basket in the middle of the fucking aisle and stand there taking up the other half of the aisle, looking at the products on the shelves, and you say "excuse me" and they act like you're the fucking asshole.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh, I just want to like beat the fuck out of someone in public.
Yeah, I feel that one. People that take too long to make a turn.
Or people that slow all the way down to take a turn.
I think it's kind of the pro, like where it's like they almost come to a complete stop to make a turn.
Okay, mine's not on here, but I'll say something similar. When people stop at yellow lights.
It depends on how yellow it is.
No, yellow lights in general. If it's not red, it's not dead.
So I guess in my case, I've actually gotten a ticket for being halfway through an intersection and it turned red. And a cop saw it.
I think that's just from like New Mexico, because like here, if you're over the line, like on the like going side, and it turns red, you're in the clear. Like that's how the law is here.
Maybe, I don't know.
So like
I gauge it.
people just don't give a fuck.
I gauge it. You know, it's one of those things like, can I make it? Yeah, I'll make it. But then I'm like, sometimes like, well, I'm not going to make it. And it's going to be red before I get there. Like, I'll stop. So, but I get that one. People is like come to an absolute halt to make a turn. It's like, come on, just get out of the way. Fucking up my cruise control. That was a bot one. Children.
Put speed limit in the left lane.
Yeah.
Elijah said that one.
Somebody said, I just remember, I didn't submit mine, but I remember mine and people are going to find it fucking hilarious, I'm sure, because it's like the weirdest thing ever. But somebody said children. I get that. I hardly put up with my own children, you know, like, it's actually,
Womb said children was his.
if it's not children, like I can't say I get annoyed with children if they're not my own. If they're my own, like I feel like I have some responsibility with how they're behaving in public, which is what drives me nuts about kids that aren't behaving in public. But I'm not annoyed with them. I'm annoyed with their parents.
Yeah.
Like this is how you
yes.
like this is how you let your kids behave in public. Like you're in a restaurant. Like
for
tell
me,
your kid
it
to
all
get his
goes
shit
back-
together. Like the fuck. Like your kid's over here
You guys
just
heard that Joe Rogan rant where it's like the bad people are just misguided babies? Whenever I see kids acting up in public, that's how I see it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I agree. I kind of agree with the children one. My initial annoyance is with the kid. But then I start wondering, it's like, why isn't the parent doing anything right now? So my one that I didn't submit this. And I tell this to like friends and stuff, and they find it absolutely insane. And it's probably an OCD thing. I almost have a downright refusal to use a paper towel unless it tears absolutely perfectly down the perforation.
I've thrown them away before that reason.
I have. I was
get
like,
that.
nope, integrity's lost. It's not going to absorb this moisture the same way. Or like we use like, cause I don't know, like we don't use napkins in our house. Like we just like have paper towels, you know, and like that's your napkin when we eat dinner. Like if I go to tear one and it tears wrong, I'm like, well, the kids can use this one. Like I'm not using that thing.
Do you ever like
It's not.
tear it even after it tears weird? So like to make even like somewhat fix it.
So
I do that
if I
sometimes.
tear one and it tears like not down the perforation, but like the bottom, it's typically always at the bottom, comes off. I'll lay the torn one aside and then tear the rest of it off the next sheet. So it's got to be an OCD thing to the point where I
Have you ever like done it where you do something like that, but it keeps tearing fucked up?
oh, I'll throw the whole roll away. Fuck this thing. Defective roll. My wife bought this new toilet paper that actually tears very well across the perforations, but I didn't know that the perforations were like rippled.
Is it that Kris Jenner like black toilet paper?
No, it's not black. Who wipes their ass with black toilet paper?
Yes.
How are you supposed to know if you're wiped enough or not? You know?
Kris Jenner, she does.
Well, she probably got a bidet or something. But yeah, like the first couple like tears were a little jarring. I was like, what? Huh? What's this? You know?
It's not like a straight line.
But like literally like my best friend will fuck with me and like whenever he tears one and it doesn't tear across the perforation, he will take a picture of it and send it to me. I'm like, you motherfucker. I know. It's
Woom said he has a black toilet.
yeah, I've seen black toilets. Funny enough, the first time my kids ever saw a black toilet, I think we were coming back from like my grandparents' house in Indiana. And my youngest, this was like over the summer maybe. He was 3 or 4. And we stopped, like they really had to pee. So we stopped at a rest area. Granted, it was actually a very nice rest area. Like it was very clean, well taken care of. But the toilets were black. And he immediately goes like, why is it black? And then starts rubbing his hands on the toilet seat. They're like, no, no, no. Like I grab him like by the wrist so he can't touch his face or any other part of his body. And just like drag him to the sink and just like scrubbing his hands.
Oh man.
And I
His
bring him,
lass just had to like fully take it in because he had never seen something like that.
I know. I was like,
Let's
my
see, I
child,
feel it.
my child has AIDS now, like full blown AIDS. And I bring him back to the car, and I tell my wife, and she's got like Lysol wipes out, like scrubbing his whole body down. Like,
Oh
ugh.
man.
But yeah. On to the next. Nope, bought one. Humble bragging.
Ooh,
That's a Karen move. I can see that being annoying. Do people still humble brag? I'm trying to I can't. I'm sure they do. I'm sure they do it all the time. I guess I'm just
Hard in this
oblivious.
economy.
what do you consider humble bragging?
That's what I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of an example of humble bragging off the top of my head.
Because like some miserable people can just consider people having a good life being humble bragging.
Yeah, like I know what humble bragging is, for sure. But right now I'm like struggling to find like a specific example.
I mean, that could just be someone saying, I can go to the grocery store and buy whatever I want
Yeah.
right now.
Well, now you're just being an
It's
asshole.
fucking retarded,
I
man.
can buy a full tank of gas
And groceries on the same day.
and pay rent.
Right? Like, a lot of people would be like, humble brag, bitch, with that, especially not right now.
This is not an actual. I was going to skip this one because it's not an answer to this question, but somebody, I guess, decided to make their own question and answer. What have you gotten detention for? Question mark. Having sex in the weightlifting room with a student teacher.
That sounds like humble bragging.
Yeah, that's a humble. There's a humble brag.
You just got shamed because you wanted to be that person who did their own thing.
Mm-hmm. Feeling or knowing something is withheld. Asking. I don't like some. They wrote that all weird. I don't even know how to read that correctly. So, when people use emojis before and after every written message.
You know what? Fuck you.
Are you an emoji guy?
Emojis. Yeah, no. Emojis help you push meaning on texts where people wouldn't understand an okay.
I
Or
mean, to be fair, I know someone in the Drinking Bros chat that does that, and it's super obnoxious.
Okay,
I know
if
who
we're
you're
talking
talking
that
about.
Person, I hope that guy fucking deep throats a shotgun. But-
Are there a lot of sunlight emojis?
Oh,
Yeah.
sunlight and a specific flag, I think.
Yeah, I don't get like. I don't
Like when
understand.
they
that.
mean nothing, when it has nothing to do with what you're saying,
Right.
it's fucking weird as balls.
Yeah, no, but
Like
if
I
you're
tried to
using
interpret it after a while.
this-
It's like I'm just guessing like this person's autistic. I don't know. Like
Oh, severely.
Fucking.
The chat. Oh my god.
what? Did I miss it? Hold on, I'm pulling
No,
it.
they're all saying what we're saying.
Oh yeah.
No.
Yep. wrong. I don't think he listens to this, so we're fine.
I
Yep.
hope he doesn't.
That's exactly who I was talking about. Like, what the fuck is this dude with his emojis constantly?
Yeah, like if it like goes along with what you're saying and helps it out and whatnot and helps like tell the story that you want or like
Helps you convey
portray
meaning.
the tone
Yeah.
you want to
Like an
yeah.
an eggplant emoji or like the wet emoji or any of those, like to cap
Yeah.
off something, to kind of, especially like through text, right? You can't really understand
tone.
intent and tone, right, through text. So if you like say something and put an eggplant or something, you're like, oh, it's supposed to be kind of like sexually orientated, or like or an emoji to display irony or frustration. But yeah, if you're just like sprinkling in random emojis, Davey, good God. Oh, man. On to the next.
Davey, that is a good one. Holy shit.
That's exactly
Son
what it
of a
is. That's exactly what it
bitch.
is. In the live chat, Davey just, yep, that's exactly what we're talking about. Good God.
It should be a sparkle and a rainbow emoji next to that guy's
Yeah.
name.
Oh, good God. This one gets me as well. People talking on their speakerphone in public.
That is a meme that is popping up, and holy shit, it is getting out of hand quick.
I experienced that for the first time the other day at the tanning salon. This girl was on the fucking phone talking about her drinking as a fucking college student
On
And,
speakerphone.
and her man and like how they drink. Yeah, like as she's tanning on speakerphone. And it's like, you dumb bitch. Shut the
William,
fuck
you
up.
said it for me. I was about to make that observation about the people that stereotypically do that, and yeah.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. That meme got out of hand quick. I've seen a lot of comment sections there that are
Like, there's
pretty
people,
raunchy.
especially like even at my work, like I go in the break room to go to the vending machines, and there's like people having arguments with their significant other in the break room on speakerphone.
Okay, now that's something
Okay.
you might be like.
And I'm like, what the fuck are
I
you
would
doing?
record that. That's some
Uh,
content you're missing out on there, Bill.
I don't know if I can record that and use it as content ethically if they don't know I'm doing it. And if they do know I'm doing it, I'm a
Just find out
160
if you're
pound
in
white
a
kid.
one party or a two party consent state. If you're one party, you're good.
But yes, that drives me nuts. People on speakerphone in public. To a lesser extent, people that are having conversations like on their earbuds. But at least I'm only
I
getting.
feel like an asshole even doing that because I feel like I'm talking to myself.
Yeah, like I don't like if I'm on if I'm in the grocery store and somebody calls me, yep, yep. Can we talk about this like in a couple of minutes when I'm out of the
Yeah, I'm at
grocery
the
store?
grocery store right now.
Can we talk about this later?
I'm a little busy.
But yeah, people would just be like, "Wow, like I told this bitch, stay away from my man." I'm like, "Yeah, I told him that." Like, oh my god, like everybody's hearing your conversation.
That's wild.
That's wild.
Maybe it's like a shame kink. You never know, Bill.
When you've got to fart but can't.
Rip. R.I.P.
Mm-hmm.
Big R.I.P.
And then the final one, feminazis. Is that
Got
what?
that gorilla grip pussy though.
What is it? It's is that fourth wave feminism?
It's like fifth wave now, right?
I think I know what he's talking about. Like those wildly extreme feminists that just like. I'm trying to figure out how to like explain this without sounding like a complete misogynist.
It's like, all right, Andrew Tate, let's see if you could describe this one.
Yeah. You know? But I mean, aren't they just like angry lesbians at that point? Like the ones that are like, I don't understand why we even need men in this world. And it was like, well, I mean, if you got rid of all the men,
I mean, that's someone
society
that has some deep psychological issues
society
that
might
probably
be all
needs to get
right
therapy.
for a generation, I guess. But I think like when I think of like somebody says like a feminazi, or somebody talks about like extreme feminism, it's like it's not like a women's rights thing. It's like an ultra left wing person that just doesn't even understand how the world works, kind of thing.
Yeah, it's usually I question where the line of what they draw femnazi is because it's like, are you talking about just someone that wants women's rights? Because like, I don't like
Yeah,
where you draw
that's
your
fine.
line there, friend.
Because I think like traditional feminism, as I understand it, I've never gone into super detail about it. But like, okay, yeah, I can agree with a lot of these things. But I think isn't that where they come up with the wave things, where like fourth wave feminism is like,
Yeah, no, when they start breaking themselves up into sects,
Yeah.
sects, and it's like, okay, you think this more of a
well,
religion?
where it's
than a
not
political
okay. So it's
ideology.
not feminism per se, but it's anti-men mentality. Right?
Charlie, what's your take on this one? As the woman,
I'm not. I'm just not gonna get into that.
So I was like, what are you talking about? I fucking hate women.
she's like, I was the one that said I hated women. All right.
Suck it up and go suck a dick. Jesus Christ. You know?
It makes me feel better, so
There you go. So so if we're getting anything out of this, Charlie is telling feminists, just go suck dick. You'll be better.
Don't put words like dicks in my mouth, Bill.
Anyways, moving on past that one. That's all
Charlie
we got.
busted out the feminism on Bill.
Mm-hmm. A feminist would never. But anyways, been fun. This is episode 100. We
Oh yeah, no, that's your fundraiser
yes.
for Logan.
Yep. So Logan's in the chat right now, so we're gonna call him out a bit. But go check out in the description for this is a link. Our boy Logan LePonte is going through it. He's a OG nooner. Everybody loves him. Fucking awesome guy. So I'm running some t-shirts through my screen printing shop to raise some money to help with his medical stuff. Go check those out. We've gotten a fair amount of orders so far. It runs until February 16th. So, and 100% of profits on that go straight to Logan for his medical stuff. I'm donating my time and materials and everything for that. So yeah, go check that out. The t-shirt design's fucking rad, and it's going to a really good cause that is very personal, not only to the community as a whole, but to many people in this community that, you know, love Logan to death because he's, like I said,
We love you, dude.
he's OG. He's been around forever. I've never met a person that's had an interaction with him that has said anything negative. So just want to know we're here for you, and this is the best way I can find to help you out. So working hard for you, dude. And yeah, so go check out the link, order a shirt. There's also, if you don't want the shirt, totally fine. Matt at American Rustic Works donated one of his handmade reclaimed wood American flags, and he doesn't want anything for it. He straight donated it. He's paying the shipping costs and everything for it, and we're raffling that off. And like one raffle ticket is like $2, and again, all of that money goes straight to helping out Logan. So go hit the link. Again, like even if you only got $2, like just help out Logan. So with that being said, episode 100 was a blast. These anonymous question things are fun. So we're going to probably keep that going for a while. But anyways, for Jake, for Charlie, I'm Bill.